playJoshua, I thought I'd beaten Klitschko in the fifth 318. Anthony Joshua reflects back on his fight with Vladimir Klitschko, and admits he thought he had it won early on. 318. Anthony Joshua says he would still fight former champion Tyson Fury if he was 40 stone. The world heavyweight #1, who defends his WBA and IBF world titles against Carlos Takam at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff on Saturday, has not given up hope of an All-English clash with Fury. Fury 250, 18 KOs, however, is out of shape and without a boxing license. The 29-year-old had his license revoked in October 2016 after allegations of doping earlier last year, and his case has yet to be resolved. Fury, from Manchester, has not fought since November 2015 when he outpointed Vladimir Klitschko for the IBF, WBO and WBA world titles. Since then he has admitted to taking cocaine, drinking too much and claims to have had mental health problems. However, Joshua, 28, is still keen to fight Fury. What was his fighting weight? 18 stone. Even if he comes back at 22 stone, George Foreman came back bigger than he was in his prime, Joshua told reporters at his training base, the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield. If he wants to fight and gets his license at 30 stone, 40 stone and wants to get in the ring and starts showing that he can move about and he can control that weight that he's morphed into, people will watch him. But if he comes back at that weight and he's getting in trouble against journeymen, then people won't be interested. So it's how he performs at his new weight. Anthony Joshua faces his fourth world title defense on October 28. Richard Heathcote. Getty Image. Said Hearn, Joshua's promoter, is not so certain that a clash with Fury will ever happen. You can't really let people disrupt your plans, and that is the problem with the Fury fight, said Hearn, who drafted in Cameroon's France-based Takam at 12 days' notice after Bulgaria's Kubrat Pulev pulled out injured. If he had a couple of fights and showed that he was actually back in the game, then it might be something to consider. Joshua is a big favorite to make a successful defense of his IBF and WBA world heavyweight titles in front of an expected crowd of 78,000 on Saturday after a thrilling stoppage win over former world #1 Klitschko in front of 90,000 at Wembley Stadium in April. Providing there is no shock of epic proportions, Hearn is planning 3 fights for Joshua in 2018 in March or April, then out again in the summer before another fight in December. Hearn hopes Joshua will face both WBC title holder Deontay Wilder, the American who defends his belt against Haiti's Bermane Stiverne on November 4, and New Zealand's Joseph Parker, who holds the WBO version of the title. In a perfect world, 2 of the 3 fights would be for the additional belts, in any order, said Hearn. British heavyweight Dillian Whyte has joked to ESPN that Robert Helenius may find himself in Valhalla following the pair's rendezvous in Cardiff on Saturday. You can't take in the fun aspect of the fight. I'm just in my own world, my own zone. Joe Calzaghe talks to ESPN about Cardiff, the calmness of Abercarn, that fight against Mikel Kessler and what lies in store for Anthony Joshua on Saturday. We'll have to fight a WBA mandatory next year, whether that's in February, March or in the summer. But you'd hope that a unification could take precedent. Luis Ortiz, who tested positive for banned substances last month, was a problem because there was an exception request from us for a fight, there was a court order, there was all kinds of stuff. Apparently he's 6 months suspended and we'll make the decision on our next fight in November. Providing everything is okay, the aim is to fight 3 times next year. We've only boxed twice this year, which has worked out okay because the Klitschko fight was huge. But ideally, March, April, summer then December. That would be nice. After hearing what his promoter had to say, Joshua added, laughing, so actually I think we'll be fighting Parker and Wilder in 2018. Parker 240, 18 KOs, 25, looked unimpressive when he outpointed Tyson's cousin Hughie Fury in Manchester last month in a second defense of his WBO version of the world title. The Titans didn't clash, so it didn't create a good, entertaining fight, especially for a heavyweight championship fight, said Joshua, who lives in North London when he is not training in Sheffield. It didn't add to the stock. But the good thing is he's still champion and it still bubbles in the background for me at some stage. But Hearn says Parker should be prepared to take a smaller slice of the money if he wants to face Joshua, who is earning a reported £15 million from fighting Takam. Hearn added, if there was 100% in that pot, what does Joseph Parker deserve as WBO champion? 20%? Yeah, I think 20 is about right.